When I watched the Microsoft Surface launch and Panos Panay did his presentation,
Yes, that dude.
I was stuck.
That dude.
I went instantly to LinkedIn and followed him.
The very first time he introduced the Surface computer, the very big one, it was he is outstanding. He knows how to present. Yeah, like he is
very good. Exactly. Now, I think he's the next big thing in the tech world when it comes to presentation.
Yeah.
Bye Steve Jobs.
I mean, he's been bye for a long time.
Yeah, but Apple has been riding on one more thing for a while.
Yeah.
Well, so what's
so
next?
Moving on from LG's ThinQ home systems, Sony brought us something. Well, they brought us a lot of things.
A lot.
Yeah, I say that
I
say that sparingly.
They have the biggest surprise at CES. They were the biggest surprise.
They were the biggest surprise. So they came with the usual, talking about PS5, talking about HDR 8K TVs, which we're looking at right now. It was a very beautiful television, but yeah, we've seen so many things. What's new about it? Nothing. It's just 8K TV. Then Sony brought us.
The important one we are here for. I mean, no one cares about 8K TV when we barely got into 4K.
It was a very interesting uppercut. Like, it was a very huge surprise.
This wasn't just an uppercut. It was a sliding kick. Collect your feet from under you and then knock you straight into the sky.
Which was the Sony Vision S.
It's not a phone?
No, it's not a phone. It's a car.
It's a vehicle, electric vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, it's very interesting. So I've been reading some articles about this particular concept. And it would seem that Sony isn't necessarily vested in producing a car. Mm-hmm. They just want to show that with all the divisions they have, they could outfit cars with all their sensors, because Sony makes a lot of these sensors, a lot of these screens and everything. So it's more like a marketing pitch for what they could do in the automotive industry, not that they necessarily want to open an automotive division in all the things they do. And as Michael said last week, Sony does too many things. So I don't know if I would be very stoked. I mean, the car looks splendid. Like, it's very beautiful.
Splendid
car.
is relative.
Yeah.
I mean, no, thing, as far as electric car styling is concerned, it's
very Tesla
vis-a-vis the Cybertruck.
Now you see, now that is interesting.
I mean,
we all made a Cybertruck, not knowing that.
It looks very
as do I.
Yeah,
it's just so mad. I want one.
But my favorite electric car right now is the EQS, which isn't out yet.
Isn't that an equalizer system?
So what you're looking at on your screens right now is Sony's vision of an automated electric vehicle. Now, a lot of conversation has been going on in Ghana about electric vehicles, and people are asking questions like,
I can't wait till that
show. Can this work in Ghana? We already have problems as it is with our power. We know these are more efficient because you charge and then you drive. You're not buying fuel and everything. But Joshua, from your point of view, I mean, I woke up this morning and I had Doomsaw. Imagine I had forgotten to charge my car. That means that it is an Okada.
Sure. So you're right. We have challenges with electricity because we are not utilizing the resources we have.
Right.
We haven't looked at the other part of electricity we can tap into, and that's what Tesla is doing. Mm-hmm. So his power pack that he built was based on solar and wind. Mm-hmm. He didn't have to rely on hydro to power that. And we have the sun here 24/7 burning away. So probably, I mean, we are the best people to even use electric car because we have all the green energy we can tap into to power vehicles. I think it's up to us to start building or thinking about our future of energy and electricity.
Right.
I mean, with the electric cars, I actually had this conversation with you, Kobe and Michael, and then with some friends in a WhatsApp group I'm in. And to be honest, based on the conversation I had with Kobe and certain connections or people
It's so weird to hear myself being called Kobe.
Yeah, you always say that. As opposed to Spanky.
But moving on swiftly.
So the issue is that, I mean, if you had charged your car, and some of these cars have a range of about 200 miles and everything, and your commute to and from work every day is about 40 miles. So you could get a good week out of one charge.
Yeah.
You could, but like I told my friends that there are other variables involved. Like the Tesla cars work best, or generally electric cars work best between 14 to 25 degrees Celsius. That's the optimum temperature for them to work most effectively. Ghana, we are hitting 31, 37. Like we are really hitting high. And so how does that affect the energy use? So I mean, definitely the car after one charge is not going to run out of power in one day. But
I mean, if you've used a phone in the hot weather and you've noticed your battery life shift, that is the same principle all over again.
So, still talking about cars, we're going to talk about the Audi i.ME, but it's boring. Hyundai and Uber came together and made a flying taxi. Now, we've seen Uber trying to do a whole lot of, venturing into different spaces. From venturing into trying to do scuba, underwater taxis, to now flying taxis. This was shown at CES, the SA1, the Hyundai SA1. Now, I'm more interested at why Uber chose to do this with Hyundai, of all people.
I mean, isn't it an issue of willingness to do? I mean, maybe if the terms and conditions with Hyundai works for them, then let's do this. The partnership is...
I wouldn't surprise because Hyundai have been really trying to change their image in the car world.
Yeah.
So their willingness to quote unquote go wild and do the really crazy stuff, it's shining through. And annoyingly, I have to acknowledge that some of their efforts are paying dividends. So I shouldn't be excited to see this. I'm not as excited to see this, but it's there. Like, yes, this is not that bad an idea concept.
I am interested because when they explained what went into the design, I realized that they had put a lot of thought into it. Like, if you are seeing the video, there are a lot of rotors or the spinny thingies,
propellers,
all over the place. Now, they made it in such a way that if one of them just goes off for whatever reason, there's a backup, so it will stay at the same point of elevation no matter the loss in power in whichever propeller or rotor there is. And then the thing that we have talked about here on this show, they've actually put it in their concept, which is the entire vehicle has a parachute in case everything goes south. Which is a conversation we've had about planes. Why do planes not have parachutes?
But that engineering is a different issue.
I mean, it could be a different, but they seem to have figured it out.
So this utopia that Hyundai and Uber are trying to sell to us. Will the world really be that? Anyway.
Well, we may live 100 years to see this.
Or we may not. We may be burning next year.
The questions we should be asking is that with a consumer level of flying cars, with the way we have regular cars and the accidents we have with regular cars, would we expect the same thing in the airspaces? Because at the end of the day, we would have to create like virtual routes for these and with a virtual route means there are constrictions, there are boundaries. If you are going to Tesano, you can't pass through here. This part of the airspace, you need to go this way.
But this is assuming this is not going to be driven or operated by a human being, is it?
Well, it looks like something that should be automated.
Yes, for safety especially.
For safety, yes.
Because
I mean, if you think about it, we don't get as many air incidents like we get road incidents because yes, any Tom, Dick, and Harry who has a license can drive a car.
But to get a pilot's license, even when you get a pilot's license, the steps you go through just to even prepare to take off are monumental and very intense. Because unlike breaking down in a car, where if something goes wrong, you literally pull off to the side of the road if there is space. If something goes wrong in the plane, there's no, I'll stop on the side of the road. Nah, you
will hover right here.
Yeah.
You deploy a parachute and land.
I mean, I'm saying that's why I put this clause consumer. If it comes to a point where anybody can just buy this flying thing and then it becomes, because with an increasing number of these things, when the first car was being put out, the questions were, what is this monstrosity? What are the after effects? Are horses going to be killed by these things? There were so many questions to be asked about all of this. And as more cars came, we realized that those questions asked in the past were not so out of place. They weren't entirely out of place. So
how did they kill the horses?
I mean, they didn't kill the horses, but they killed better things than the horses, quote unquote. I mean, I don't know if people have. Yeah, Peter. Sorry. Moving on. But
So,
yeah,
we know that most of these things. That's why self-driving cars
I've
have become the focus.
I
right
even
now.
think that the future of transportation is going to be shared.
Mhm.
So you might not even have to own car.
but as our own Lord and Savior quotes, air quotes, very big air quotes, Jeremy Clarkson pointed out, there's a dilemma with coding because coding is binary. Right now, coding is binary. It's A or B, it's yes or no, it's white or black. Now, in a situation, which is Jeremy Clarkson pointed out, if you were everybody was in an automated car with an AI and everything, and then something messed up.
The train
Yes.
track situation.
Yes.
Do you kill
the
the
people
AI? Yeah, the AI has to choose. Do you put the one person
in
at
the
risk,
car,
or do you put
The
the busload
passerbys.
of school children at
Mhm.
risk?
Or you kill the person in the car.
do you kill the person? So the question is, if something goes wrong, do you kill the person in the car who is alone? Do you kill the busload of kids, or do you drive into the pedestrians who are on the side just to save the person in the car? Because so at the end of the day, the AI is going to have to think up. Granted, it has the capabilities.
Question is, if a human being had done this, would we be having this
we won't.
conversation?
No.
Exactly.
We
Yeah,
won't,
God.
because human nature is also factored into these things.
Which is self-preservation.
yes,
Yeah.
So the question is, are you buying a car that is going to save you
or kill you,
or
possibly.
kill you?
Well, you don't know. You won't know that till that
Till the
point.
numbers are put before you.
in front
Well,
of you.
till they have actually gone through this regulation and decided that, you know what, do an analysis of the damage and then choose the least.
Which is the one person?
Which is the one person in the car. I don't
so
mind.
you
I don't
literally
mind
bought a
the
car
car.
that could kill you.
Isn't that what people do when they buy SL Blacks?
Moving on. Then.
So, speaking about cars still at CES, which was actually a very interesting thing, Mercedes-Benz unveiled the Avatar concept.
This guy is largely unnecessary.
Well, that's why it's a
It's
as
cool.
is every concept car.
I mean,
Fortunately, some actually do make it to production,
yeah.
like the i8.
I mean, there are so many cars that were concepts years ago. Like my favorite car right now, the Lamborghini Urus, which I haven't mentioned on the show in months.
Well,
we
speaking about the
we thought
Mercedes
we left
Avatar
that in
in
2019.
2019, this is actually, most concept cars are actually highlights of what kind of new technology is going to come out should they be launched. So, you know, this car actually drives sideways.
Yeah.
The wheels are spherical,
Yeah.
so it could actually move sideways. Now, that would be a very, very perfect car for parallel parking, which seems to be
Yeah.
the bane of every learner and certain people of certain demographics.
Come on, we know this is not gonna happen.
Oh, it won't.
But you see, they actually demoed this, and it was a working car.
It was-
I mean,
That's
it
the
was a
interesting
working
part.
car in the sense that they drove it on. But what they said about the whole heartbeat thing wasn't that effective in the sense that
Yeah,
you
it
don't
wasn't-
drive, there's no steering wheel, there's nothing. There's just a
Just your
console in the
feeling.
center that fuels your emotions and sets the temperature based on how. Like, come
All
on, guys.
I'm
I'll
getting
take
from-
Bolly over
All
this
I'm
guy.
getting from this car is that so Mercedes looked at iRobot recently and are like, why did Audi get on all this fun? We want to do some.
Actually, they said they actually went to the people who made the Avatar movie, and that's why the car is called the
Avatar.
So
it
they
was
work
inspired
with
by that.
the people who made Avatar and are making Avatar 2 right now too. So the skills and everything is
Yeah.
all
Kind of
about-
weird though because Avatar is a very
Futuristic movie.
and hippie movie too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see the main character in Avatar look at a car saying, yes.
So moving on from the cars,
We actually talked about pizza today,
yeah.
but certain pizza not being so great. But yeah, moving on.
Picnic made a pizza bot, and Joshua, I think you should take this.
Yeah, so the bots can sort of do 300 pizzas in just 60 minutes.
So in an hour, 300 pizzas.
Yeah.
No more delays, no more.
Bam.
Exactly. You can also
Bam.
customize. So the time will come when you're buying, you can pick whatever you want
And it goes
from
directly
and
to
it goes straight to the robot.
the robot. Not
That
any,
makes the pizza. You just go.
Not
Exactly.
any human who forgets your order.
You know, I foresee this.
Or add some allergies to it that
Yeah.
you might not even like it. Yeah.
I foresee this happening.
For this day, I think it will come out as soon as possible because you see the process is not
Yeah, it's
complicated.
not
Yeah.
complicated at all.
Everything is
segmented.
messed up. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's really
very
fast. So probably Pizza Hut and the rest can get one.
I don't see how I can put a boiled egg on this though.
Like you can't put it. Michael.
I think that let's move on quickly. We're almost out.
Yeah, we're almost out of time.
But there's one conversation I want us to have that I was on the list.
Sunflower Labs.
Sunflower Labs. I've already told you my sentiments about this, Kobe.
So Sunflower Labs, people have dogs for security. Some people have CCTVs for security. Sunflower Labs came up with a security drone. Now, how this works is that you have motion sensors and cameras in your house, and when it detects motion, it deploys a drone that sends footage to your phone. Now, this has actually been demoed in a house, and that's what you're seeing on the screens if you're watching. And Winston doesn't agree with it.
It's not that I don't agree with it. What I'm saying is that to pay $10,000 for a security drone, that is as loud and noisy as any drone. Cheap drone. It's not acceptable.
And I'm saying that it's like paying a lot of money for a dog that is loud, that everybody would hear.
But the dog goes through training. You train the dog for, if you want a guard dog.
Which Ghana dog do you think? Not every Ghana dog.
Michael's dog Dumbo is very quiet.
This drone is autonomous.
Until he's coming for your throat.
It is autonomous and everything. But I have questions. They didn't say anything about battery life, which is the biggest issue with drones. Largely, I don't know. I think the longest drone is 3 hours.
Yeah,
3 hours.
Without a tether.
And it doesn't have to, be around.
Yeah, so I just perform a task, come back to charge, perform a task, come back to charge.
I'm not paying $10,000 for this buzzing sound. If I want that, I'll go and buy a beehive.
But my whole thing is that, okay, the drone has taken off, it has detected the intruder. Now what?
Well, that's when you have your automated AR rifle.
So probably I think it will work with other smart security system in the house to protect the house.
You in your own pool.
Will you open the dog? That's the important question.
Also open Dumbo.
Yeah.
Okay. But I still think that it's right. They said it that it's pricey. It's very pricey. And for $10,000 with that noise, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Well, as Dennis the Fairboy always say, "Enfant here." ...
Oh, please.
So, I mean, we've run out of time all too soon. There's so much that happened during CES that we would love.
One more thing I would like us to talk about.
Sure.
So, Impossible Foods showed up again.
I was good. It's the last thing, actually. I'm surprised that I didn't even play.
Okay, so Impossible Foods showed up again. Yeah. And this time they made pork.
Impossible pork.
Yes. And it tastes just like pork, bleeds just like pork and everything, which is cool and fun. And as I've had this conversation with you, Kobe and Michael, that I feel like we are the new hippie era. Now, the question is that a few years ago, everybody was very uptight about GMO foods. Very, very uptight. Like, my tilapia was grown with elephant's grass genes. Like, everybody was going mental about it. But all of a sudden, people are making pork from scratch in a test tube
based on plants.
We are cool.
Based on
plants, and we are cool. I mean, the tilapia with the elephant grass.
But I think if you're not being told, you never know. You never know the difference. Texture, taste, everything is the same.
Look at all the people eating it and then smiling.
What I'm saying is that it feels like a double standard if we are going to be outraged by some things, and because other things have shown up, we just keep quiet about it.
I think it depends on who is doing it.
Have you met the human species?
I also think that all these things are coming out because of food insecurity, climate changes, that we're not going to be able to grow enough to even feed the animals to get meat.
But the final question is that what I need all of us to understand is that we will always be the test run generation, because we don't know what this thing is going to do to us 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line.
And I think that's what has been...
So that's a risk we are going to
That's what has been happening over every generation. All the technology we're enjoying today, some people were the test.
Yeah.
So we have to come and enjoy it.
Cell phones.
So the same way, we'll also have to use, will be used as a test for the next generation to come and enjoy it.
But it seems we still have time, so we can
there
talk
was a
about
time when smartphone radiation was
a big problem. It still kind of is for some people. I know people personally. I know someone
stickers at the back of their phone.
No, I know someone who personally does not put his smartphone in his front pocket.
Wow,
never.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so what do you call Alienware made?
They made a UFO.
Yeah, they made UFO, which is a handheld computer. For all intents and
what is UFO?
Gaming.
Our audience really understand what that means?
So it's a gaming device.
Oh, okay.
So if you remember the PSP, or if you know the Nintendo Switch.
Now. Basically, they're just making,
They want to tap into the portable
device that you can use to play games.
Yeah.
The future of gaming.
Is it the future of gaming? So I think we should have a conversation about that. Is the future of gaming be going portable or going cloud-based?
I think it's going VR, virtual.
Well, in terms of how the game is given out, is it
you
cloud-based
could be,
or should it be still buying your own stuff, your own hardware and everything?
Which is where I'm praying everything goes, because I've spoken about this, the risks of cloud-based
you not
stuff.
owning.
Yeah, you not owning, and one day the service provider deciding, nah,
We are bankrupt. We are closing.
we are closing,
Done.
or we don't like this anymore. Someone has complained, so we are taking the entire thing down. You will never experience it again. Bye bye.
It looks interesting for me, the concept UFO. It's portable, which is, I think we will not be the right demographic to comment on this. I think that more gaming people,
Communities,
the younger ones, to those who actually play games for a living, they would be the ones to say.
I feel like those who play games for a living would not really stick to this, because the reason why the Nintendo Switch is so successful is because of Nintendo's properties. That's Mario, and all those things have always been on handheld devices. Mario, Pokemon,
This
Zelda.
is a PC.
This is a PC.
Don't forget emulators. Don't forget the ability to have almost every single title across platform available.
I mean, the possibility exists because AMD has now made the first 7nm processor, and mobile phones just got that, and now a whole computer has that. So yes, there is a market and there is a capability to pull this off. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the gaming industry, the gamers run this. If they don't like you are done.
So we live to see.
Yeah.
All too soon we ran out of time. The show has been Geek Squad. My name is Kobe Spike and Chroma. You were talking about all the new tech that was launched at the Consumer and Electronics Show in Las Vegas, CES 2020. And we spoke about what Samsung was bringing, from Bali to gems and everything. We did Sero, we did LG. If you missed any of this, it's a podcast. You can go to myjoy99.7FM and just go find Geek Squad. Click play, listen to the show again. Listen to all our other shows, everything we've done over time. We talk about a lot of tech. You'll like it. And then you can watch the live stream on Facebook. And always join the conversation. Hashtag JoyGeekSquad. Or join us on Telegram, t.me/JoyGeekSquad.
Or support our mission to MWC.
Yeah, should support our mission.
Do that. Do all of that. Support our
We're going to
mission.
run a GoFundMe.
Support
We
our
have a
laptop
lot of
purchases.
listeners that are,
Loaded.
Yeah.
Sharp.
P for please. T for thanks.
So thank you, Josh. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Winston, for making it. My producers, Abeku, Dave, Dennis the Fair Boy, Selwyn, the TikToker. Up next is the news. My name is Kobe Spike and Kumasi.